Kevin Nelson, here's a look at what's going on this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. The Council of Cardinals wrapped up their 18th meeting with Pope Francis this past week as they continue their work in reforming the Roman Curia. One of the members of the council, German Cardinal Reinhard Marx, talked with reporters about the council's recent expression of support for the Pope. Rome Reports has more from the Vatican.
As usual, at the conclusion of the meeting of the Council of Cardinals, the Vatican reported on the progress of its work. But at this February meeting, the Council members issued a statement reaffirming their support for the Pope and his decisions. In recent weeks, there have been numerous reports citing resistance to Pope Francis within the Curia, especially following the letter published by 4 cardinals questioning parts of Amoris Laetitia.
I've seen the discussions, and I think that is very clear. And we had the feeling we didn't want to make great make a great drama, but I think it was the time to repeat from our group. We are supporting the Pope. We are going together with him. We have discussions in the church. That's clear. Normal discussions, tensions. It will be ever like this, no? But in a time like this is also clear for us as Catholics, the loyalty to the Pope is substantial for the Catholic faith and for the Catholic believers.
The Council of Cardinals addressed in this 18th meeting issues such as the Vatican courts or reviewing the process of choosing new bishops. They've also dealt with other issues such as the Vatican media reform and the works of the Secretariat for the Economy, led by Cardinal George Pell. The next meeting of the Council of Cardinals will take place on April 24th, 25th, and 26th. Cardinal Reinhard Marx made these statements during the presentation of prizes awarded by the Pontifical Centesimus Annus Foundation. This organization rewards the work of researchers and journalists focusing on spreading the social doctrine of the Church.
Looking now at news from around the country, 4 committee chairs of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops have issued a statement saying they are encouraged by recent reports that President Donald Trump may be considering an executive order to protect religious freedom. The bishops said that they would be grateful if he would move forward with a pledge that his administration would do everything in its power to defend and protect religious liberty. The statement was jointly issued by Cardinal Timothy Dolan, chairman of the Committee on Pro-Life Activities, Archbishop Charles Chaput, chairman of the Committee on Laity, Marriage, Family Life, and Youth, Archbishop William Lowry, chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee for Religious Liberty, and Bishop Frank Duane, chairman of the Committee on Domestic Justice and Human Development. The church leaders said an executive order would implement strong protections for religious freedom across the federal government in many of the areas where it has been eroded by the preceding administration, such as health coverage, adoption, accreditation, tax exemption, and government grants and contracts. In news now more news from the Vatican. Pope Francis met with about 36 representatives of indigenous communities at the Vatican in this past week. The representatives were in Rome for continuing discussions with the UN-related International Fund for Agricultural Development. Their talks aim at ensuring development projects impacting Native communities are carried out in consultation with them and that they respect their land, cultures, and traditions. Rome Reports has more on the meeting with the Pope.
Pope Francis says there are no first- and second-class citizens. He was speaking to these representatives of indigenous peoples who are often marginalized by governments. They're in Rome to study how to reconcile promoting the development of their populations without losing the unique characteristics of their cultures and territories. The Pope has called for the full participation of indigenous people in the decisions affecting them.
Inclusión y no consideración solamente. Esto implica que los gobiernos reconozcan que las comunidades indígenas son una parte de la población que debe ser valorada y consultada y que se ha de fomentar su plena participación a nivel local y nacional.
Pope Francis has especially called for respect of the right to prior and informed consent of indigenous peoples regarding any economic projects affecting their lands and populations. One of the main sources of tensions among indigenous peoples is when governments authorize the exploitation of their resources for use in factories or for farming. This can cause the forced removal of the burial places of their ancestors, areas considered very sacred to them.
And finally in the news, Pope Francis told representatives of the Special Olympics World Winter Games that the athletes of the Special Olympics witness to the world the beauty and value of every human life and the joy that comes from reaching a goal with the encouragement and support of others. The Games are taking place in Austria from March 14th through the 25th. Pope Francis praised the passion and dedication of the Special Olympians as they train for their events and said sports are good for everyone, physically and mentally. He said that by watching the Special Olympians, everyone should learn to enjoy small and simple pleasures and to enjoy them together. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. I'm Kevin Nelson. Don't forget, you can keep up to date on Catholic news throughout the week with Catholic Newsbreak right here on the Catholic TV network.